Okay, so then we will take a look at the Roosters versus the Eels. This one has classic written all over it based on how these two perform. Yet again, you have backed with your heart instead of your head. You silly, silly man.
I am a silly goober. I look last week was 50-50 and I went head last week was 50-50. I went hard overhead and it worked. This week it's probably more like 70-30 and I've gone hard overhead. So this one will come back to bite me, I'm sure of it. No, who am I kidding? I'm a passionate Parramatta Eel supporter. We've got this one in the bag. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how you can watch the level of abuse that the Dogs suffered last week and think, hey, the Eels are going to win this one. I don't know how you've even come close to that assumption. Even so, if you look at the Eels lineup, you're missing Evans. There, you've lost a large part of your second phase game. The only person in the Eels team with more offloads than Evans is Matterson, and he's only got 2 more than him. So that's where the Roosters fall down. Second phase, they struggle against it from time to time. I don't see how the Eels pick them apart. I really don't.
So I think what will happen there is Maratini Ukore, when he comes on, will go into the lock role. Nathan Brown for 20-25 minutes will play prop. That will somewhat make up for the second phase play. Ukore, more of an inside runner, likes to come off the edge and dart through, but can play lock and can run through the middle. Terapo has a handy offload as well. Yeah, look, I absolutely went hard overhead on this one. It is an away game technically for the Eels, but played at Bankwest. Their spine has been fantastic this year. Haven't had to make a change. Marnie has been great at a dummy half. Dylan Brown, Mitch Moses working together like they've been together for 3 or 4 years. Gutherson, I wouldn't say form of his life, but he's played pretty well close to it. Madison's been our forward pack has been fantastic. You can't fault the Parramatta Eels forward pack. The issue that we are going to come up against with the Roosters is they have a towering winner in Daniel Tupou, who's going to go up against Blake Ferguson. It's going to be a fantastic battle in the air. But Tupou has that ability to catch over his head, whereas Fergo prefers to knock it back.
Yep.
With our forward pack, we win. I think we win the prop battle. Campbell Gillard and Paulo should get up over Takiaho and JWH, but we lose out in the fact that I think Victor Radley is a much more mobile lock than Nathan Brown. Nathan Brown is just a brute force runner. We saw that against the Panthers. He was superb. He was a big part of our comeback. But Radley has that ability, if he needs to dart out of dummy half as a lock, charge through 10, 15 meters, put on a little sidestep and get through some tired defenders. And part of our issue is that we don't necessarily always start the best. And one of our former guys, Dane Kerr, he and I were talking about it 2 nights ago after the Roosters game. We basically said if Parramatta fall behind, we're screwed.
Yeah.
If Parramatta have a quick start, Parramatta win. If Parramatta fall behind 12-0, you might as well call the boys off the field now because the Roosters will win.
Yeah. But if you look at your head-to-head battles, straight away your big standout head-to-head battle is Joey Manu going up against Jennings. Jennings isn't the player that he used to be. He's not as physical as he used to be. I mean, he's in great form. He's still a great player. But coming up against someone like Joey Manu, who can carry the ball in one hand and palm you into, row C of Bankwest, he's freakish. I don't see how Jennings possibly defends against Manu, especially when you've got Sivo, who's an absolute sucker for jumping the line. The amount of times you see him come too far in and leave Jennings out there on his own, you saw it against the Dogs. Somehow the Roosters managed to create a 3-man overlap on that right edge. If Sivo jumps the line, it's going to be a problem. The only potential question mark I have with the Roosters setup is Verrills on the bench and Butcher as well. So, I mean, is Jake Friend potentially carrying a knock? You saw him come out of contact in one tackle against the Dogs where he didn't look brilliant, but why Verrills? What are you trying to accomplish here? If you're wanting a little bit of maneuverability and a little bit more versatility, you should have just stuck with Tupanua. I thought he had a fantastic game last week. I have no idea why he's been cut from the squad this week.
Well, they're back to their strongest 17, I think, for one. I think the thing we've seen with Jake Friend over the last couple of years as well is his body's now made of ceramic glass. So having Verrills on the bench, he may not be used. There is a high chance he doesn't get used. But he also has the ability to come on for 10 or 15 minutes to give Vic Radley a break. Just dart around the middle, have some fun, play some unorganised football, come off the field huffing and puffing after 15 minutes of going full out, and Radley comes back on. Yeah, that's part of the reason I think as to why they have Verrills. My head says Roosters by 8. My gut and my heart says Parramatta by a field goal. I'd love to get a field goal win up over the Roosters. I've got a schooner on the line for when I get back into Sydney for the winner of this one. So knowing how expensive beer is here back in Sydney, that's $8 I'd save. But yeah, unfortunately, I think my head is saying Roosters. But we're not going to talk about it anymore. It's fine. We're just going to watch them play on Saturday. I'm going to watch the Parramatta Eels get up.
Okay, Roosters by 10. Okay, so